Hello, good evening, and hopefully you can hear me because I'm still not very good at OBS. Apparently you can't hear me because, for the love of all that is sweet and good and holy in this world, transition, and now you should be able to hear me. There's only one way to find out. Let me turn on my own speakers. Sweet
and Amici and Beowulf both can hear you.
They can.
There we go. Splendid. Hello. Good. Hi. Welcome to Garblag Games. You can tell what I'm producing because it's a bag of poop.
It's not.
There's Millie and Pete flinging out their pro level stuff with their videos and the delicate transitions, and here's me going, I'm banging two screens together. Hi, good evening. Welcome to Garblag Games. I'm Ben, and we're going to play some Spectaculars. Joining me for this evening, we've got Millie and Alden, because we're going to start this off as a sort of buddy cop spectacular and then roll it into a full-on super team as we evolve the group. But first and foremost, we need to develop some characters. Ooh, thanks, Beowulf.
It's like life, really.
Don't know what to say. Right, so welcome to Spectaculars. Spectaculars is a fantastic little superhero game. Looks nice and straightforward to play. Has lots and lots of bits of paper. I have got, I think, 7 decks of cards in the cupboard with me, which have got powers and roles and secret identities and all kinds of shenanigans going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to create some characters first. So I believe that Millie and Alden... Ooh, I don't think Groats are going to cut it for naming our heroes there. Especially not after my rant about people called Bob. I'll end up with Bob the Bobbington and all of that because you're malicious, the lot of you. Now, we are going to be starting Eldritch Mysteries, which is the supernatural superheroes super world. And we're starting off with a little band of Pact-Bound Heroes, which was one of the 2 options. The other one was Monster Squad, which didn't quite gel with what they were looking for. So we're going for Pact-Bound Heroes. And they are going to be members of the Guardians of the Rift, protecting people from the thin space between the other realms of the Shriven Realm. A jagged hellscape of eternal night where monsters dwell and reality itself is mutable. Other there, yes, Brixton. Other there, a literalist shadow reflection of our world infested by mystic parasites. And Dark Albion, a bizarre alternate of this world controlled by demonic vampire-like creatures.
Hampstead.
I hope we're feeling super heroic for this. Most mortals know nothing of these other realms, but our heroes are blessed or cursed with ancient legacies, arcane knowledge, and memories of other times and place. Should they fail, they risk destruction, enslavement, and apocalypse of the entire world.
What?
Yeah, I know. But
that was not in the brief.
As luck would have it, they have a secret sanctuary, the Temple of Mithras Themesis, last refuge of the ancient gods Mithras and Themesis, king of rivers, which contains a broken part of the round table.
Oh, yeah.
Now, they may have chosen to be pact-bound into this secret society. They may have been tricked into it. That will be up to the players as they go. But each of them bears within their palm a glowing blue sigil that only appears to people who also have said glowing blue sigil. Now, with no further ado, let's start making some super characters. So, to do this, we need... to start off thinking about archetypes. Now the archetypes, that's identities, not archetypes. Oh, the archetypes are the ones in the book, aren't they? Silly man. So our archetypes that we've got to look at include sorcerer, someone like Dr. Fate or Dr. Strange. We've got an occultist like John Constantine. Supernatural entity like the Ghost Rider. A legendary warrior, Hercules or the Black Knight. An avatar and modern-day embodiment of an ancient divine force. That includes things like Storm and Thor and Wonder Woman. And the Familiar, an unconventionally heroic form of a small, seemingly harmless creature, but still possessed of supernatural powers and abilities. Now, I believe that the two delightful people to my
Other side.
that side have already made their choices on what they want their archetype to be.
Yes.
Go on, Millie, you can go first.
Oh, okay. I would like to be an occultist, please.
An excellent choice. So as an occultist, you have a thirst for knowledge.
Yes. Oh, this is on the sheet.
This is on the sheet. That's what these are for. You can just do little ticks now.
Oh, that's great. And it's a form fillable thing, so I can just click it. It's even better.
Exactly.
Oh, nice. All right. Yeah. So, thirst for knowledge. Why do you seek out the secrets of the occult? What are my options here? Defense, power, preparation, or vengeance?
Other, studying sculpture at St. Martin's College.
She studied, yeah. I think it's either power or something else. And I'm not sure what the something else should be.
It's okay to start off with power and evolve into something else in the other option as you go.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let's pick
So maybe it was, I wanted it to be power, but then something happened and it all got spoopy, and now I quest for the spirit of the Milky Bar Kid from the 1980s TV adverts.
Yeah. I've frequently quested for that. No. Yeah, so yeah, I will tick power.
Splendid. And then occultists infamous for their vulnerabilities. What weakness or obligation can your enemies exploit?
Caustic. Oh no, where vulnerability. Addiction, dependent, energy limits, romantic partner, or others. Well, like the classic trope is like addiction, isn't it? If we're going to go down like the
Constantine with his smoking.
Yeah, with his smoking. Or oh, you see, I don't know, because that is like just fully leaning into it, isn't it? All right, let's take let's just
Lean
go
in.
full on. Lean in.
Lean in. Addiction, dependence, energy limits, and romantic partner, and you've gone for
addiction.
But it doesn't have to be to smoking. Could be to something else. Could be to fruit machines.
Yeah, 2 penny slots.
Yeah. We'll finish the adventure in a minute, but first I need to just pop into Ladbrokes. I've got a dead cert on the 215.
Yeah.
Right, and then we start getting into some of your other superpowers. So resistance. Now, resistance is how you get around being harmed, injured, hurt, splattered, and what have you. And it's kind of up to you what form it takes. So your resistance could be, I'm incredibly nails hard and really, really tough. Or it could be, I just don't get hit very often because I'm a nimble little... what's name?
Nah.
So the ones it suggests for you are mobility, protective spells, and training, or other.
I think it's protective spells.
Which means that you've got your powers, but then your resistance also manifests itself as like a supernatural ability as well.
Yeah.
Which is cool, which gives more sort of magic-y feeling to the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And then how do you get around? Powers, occult conveyance, vehicle, or other.
I want to just say all of that is pointless in somewhere like a big city like London. So it's just like whatever the
bus
tube is. I have a public transport multipass.
Seems legit.
Multipass.
Yeah.
And then some personality
so
traits.
Good for all zones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it could be that your travel card is also magic, and you don't actually pay for it. You've just got a travel card. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Or someone else pays for it. Some fair dodger. There's a karmic balance occurring every time you use it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Karmic balance. Personality traits. Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah.
Choose 2 of the following personality traits that best describe your hero. So what have we got? Caustic, cavalier, cynical, enthusiastic, no. Gregarious, probably not. Pensive, maybe. Short-tempered, sly, smarmy, vulgar, and then there's 2 blank ones. Now, I like vulgar because I was looking at Devlin Warg, which is a 2000 AD character, and he's like the vampire occultist.
Fabulous.
He's brilliant, isn't he? But I, Millie, could not do that level of vulgar. Like I would. I'm too English for that shit. So as much as I want to tick vulgar and gregarious and just do like the
Oh, vulgar doesn't have to be a non-stop swear-a-thon. Remember, this is comics world where saying shit is vulgar, so...
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, Comics Code Authority would demand that I limit how many times you're allowed to say bad words.
Yes, it would, yeah. So, okay, maybe we do pick vulgar then. And there's a lot of dots at the end of my speech bubbles. And then...
The swirly thing in the skull.
Yeah.
Exclamation mark, skull. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what else? So caustic, cavalier.
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 Wasn't that the singer that did the duet with Freddie Mercury?
Yeah. Cynical, enthusiastic, gregarious, pensive, short-tempered, sly or smarmy.
Pensive doesn't lend itself very well to a sort of buddy cop motif, does it?
I'm picking cynical. Vulgar and cynical. That's our occultist.
Excellente. Now, should we go and do Alden for a bit and then come back for powers across the board?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Let's do that. Okay, so Alden, you were going for...
Hello, Ben.
Supernatural entity, legendary warrior.
I'd like to be a moth.
Avatar, an actual moth.
No, avatar.
Avatar.
An actual moth. Yes, not magical at all. Just a moth.
Just a moth.
No.
Not playing GURPS.
I was thinking, like something like an avatar, whatever fits best, of an embodiment of the concept of eternal justice.
I think Avatar is the best one. It's either Avatar or Legendary Warrior. Depends on whether you want to go for Justice as a fighty character or Justice as an implacable force of nature. So if you go with Avatar, then you become almost impossible to kill. If you go for it as a Legendary Warrior, then you get to throw your powers around a lot more.
I think Avatar fits better. It's just that implacable.
Yep, that works.
Justice.
So it's not really going to be from one of the main pantheons. Egyptian, Greek, Norse, or alien.
Greco-Roman. There's Eunomia, the Greek goddess of good order and lawful conduct.
Yeah.
Or Themis, who's the Greek titaness of divine law and order. So I could be the...
I suppose you could be like a modern incarnation of any of those, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, there goes my face.
Or a weaving together of different cultures. belief in law and order has given rise to this avatar of justice.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, you two need a vulnerability. Elemental vulnerability, energy limits, or proximity weakness.
Can you tell me more about elemental vulnerability? Is that like cold or hot or?
Yeah, that's like a specific elemental energy harms you more.
Right.
I think proximity weakness works better.
I think I can quite happily riff off the proximity weakness. I don't know what the substance is, though. That would be the question. Lead. It's not that rare. Kryptonite. No.
It could be material from one of the demon realms.
Okay.
So
unobtainium.
Rocks from the Shriven realm. The sort of Shriven obsidian kind of thing.
That sounds
because there is a dimensional gateway in the city, so it's possible that it could come through.
Are they particularly foul and
oh yes, yeah, they're very, very bad. They're demons, demony demons.
Pollen, yeah. Actually, yes. But that's me.
Yeah, that's my actual weakness.
Yes. I like Shriven Obsidian. I like the concept that it's coming from a realm that is so full of disorder.
Yeah, antithetical to the very nature of justice itself.
Yes, there we go.
Nice.
Chaoticum.
See, this game kind of writes itself, to be fair.
It's always handy.
Yeah. So what we got? We got the Shriven realm. SEO 6, I believe. Yeah, there we go. Yes, it's a jagged hellscape of eternal night where your willpower is enough to bend reality, so truth is mutable there. It's a dimensional crossroads and monsters live there, so a perfect combo, really. Naren Execa says, a weakness to Garblagite.
Oh, well, it's
not
true,
my one weakness. Okay, but you have resistance to protect and defend. Yes. Does your resistance come from a danger sense, improvised defenses, or just invulnerability?
Invulnerability!
Bonk. I am justice.
I shrug off the feeble attacks of the unworthy.
Excellent. How do you get around? Do you zip from place to place as a bolt of energy? Do you leap long distances and great heights? Do you use one of your powers to help you travel? Or do you run really fast?
Can I fly?
Flying is a power. Now, if you wanted to take flight as a power, you absolutely could, because it's one of the you can take this at any time powers. But it will use up one of your power slots.
I would like to fly, please.
Okie dokie, so Alden's got flight.
Yay!
So there's one of your powers already taken care of. Splendid.
The wings of justice!
Oh,
yes.
The wings of justice.
Oh, there's definitely wings.
Right, and then 2 personality traits for you.
Well.
Grandiose.
Does sound quite... Yeah. You could read the others out if you like. And
I could, yeah. Arrogant, cold, excitable, friendly, grandiose, mercurial, prideful, serious, short-tempered, surly.
I'm thinking definitely grandiose. I think we can all feel that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're quite serious.
It's kind of a supernatural Riggs and Murtaugh that we've got going on, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely feeling the buddy movie here forming up.
I was already laughing. I don't know whether I think some folks saw it in Discord, like an occultist and an avatar of justice. It's like Dragon Age 2. Answers! I just need to blow up a building in the city and claim it's all for the common good. Yeah, and a cat. I need a cat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get on to powers then. Now, Alden's got one of his.
Okay.
Because he has taken... There's the occultist. So, back to Millie then. You are an arcane scholar, which it should say on your character sheet. You can gain one piece of information that you seek about a supernatural or occult topic as though you had participated in an interlude scene to seek it out.
Yep.
That's your hero power. And then Alden, yours is the one where... Immortality. When you are reduced to 0 resistance, you can spend a hero point to not be knocked out or die. So you just get knocked out of the scene, you don't just die.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Quite happy with that. Take that.
Okie dokie, so you've got your resistance, you've got your archetype benefit. Turn reference. On your turn, so that's down in the bottom of the page, it says what you can do.
Oh, yeah.
So on your character sheets there, it's got a list of your various turn-by-turn abilities. So, for instance, removing time tokens from your powers. So your powers recharge over time. You can make a heroic effort, use teamwork maneuvers, use your team role's benefit. So you can occupy a different role in the team at any given time. So you might be the artillery one session and the leader the next. There is a thing called taking the spotlight, which is a narrative device whereby you, the player, can take over from the GM as to what's going on in the scene.
Oh.
So, Millie, you take the spotlight on 4 boons. You gain 2 advantage dice to all attacks, and every boon you roll counts as 2.
Nice.
And you get an extra initiative card, which is nice.
It's always good.
Now, Alden, I believe yours might be the same as that.
I think it might be slightly different. It says enemy attacks against you add 2 challenge dice to the roll.
Yeah, it's taking the spotlight changes.
Cool. All right, so depending on who you are depends on...
Harder to hit.
Alden becomes much harder to hurt.
All damage that I would take.
Okie dokie. Let's look at some powers then. You get 3 powers.
Cool.
At any point, you can take Energy Blast, Flight, Super Strength, Super Toughness, Signature Weapon. Those are powers you can just take. You don't need to draw for them. If you don't like the cards you've drawn, you can swap them for any one of those as well.
Sure. Okay.
Otherwise, we've got a little deck of Spectaculars cards here, which has got a cocktail, a cornucopia of powers within.
Cocktail powers.
I've only got cordial.
Got tea.
No powers. It's very English. I've got cordial. I've got
tea.
I've
drink of justice.
Gone full colonial. I have gin and ginger ale.
There
nice.
We go. One of us has a cocktail.
There we go.
Right. So you get 3 levels of power. So you've got a superpower. Your superpower works 80% of the time. So it's on a D percentile roll. You've got to roll below 80 to use your superpower. Okay. You have a lesser power, which is 70%, and you have a minor power, which is 60%.
Okay.
So if I put flight in my minor power, it might not work.
It'll work most of the time. Narratively, it'll work. In a stressful situation, it might not work, or you might lift off only to crash into something, like I just did with my emergency cool down the room fan, which I kicked over. 20% of the time you jump off a building and die.
No, we just established that. You can't die.
You can't die. He jumps off a building, face plants into the road, gets up, goes, I'm fine.
Fine.
Carry on.
So do you want to draw any powers, or do you want to pick from the super common basic powers?
No.
Let's draw.
I'll draw some powers.
Okie dokie. Right.
Pick the one I must have.
So 1. Explosions. Illusions.
Doing a general pool, and we just grab them.
Yeah, I think we'll do a general pool, and then you can pick out of them. Mind control. Sounds like a bad guy power to me.
Now you're talking.
Energy absorption. Darkness manipulation. And necromancy. So that's the pool of 6 powers
that one for justice
that we've drawn.
We get to pick 3 of these.
And you get to pick 3, yes.
Alright.
But you can take it in turns to pick, so... Alden's already picked one.
Which one was that? Oh,
with
flight?
Flight.
Okay.
So, Millie, you can pick one.
Can I pick necromancy?
You can pick necromancy.
Thanks. I'm going to talk to the dead.
So, yeah, decide whether you want that in your super, lesser, or minor power.
I think it'd be a minor one.
Okay, it has a 3 recharge thing. You can communicate with and manipulate the dead, ranging from communing with spirits to reanimating corpses.
Nice.
You raise a corpse or skeleton from the dead, which becomes an undead hero with 50 resistance.
Ooh.
And remains present in the scene. Adds an ally initiative card to the initiative track, takes turns and moves as you direct. 50% chance of success on all attacks and checks. That's quite tasty.
Always nice to make a friend.
Yeah.
And you could also use it narratively for sort of talking to the dead. Alden, do you want to pick another one?
Yes, but I didn't write them all down. So there was explosions and illusion and mind control and some other things.
Darkness manipulation, energy absorption, or any of the original 5.
Energy absorption. Is it just absorbing, or are we talking like Bishop from X-Men in that I can?
No, it's just absorbing.
Oh, that's odd.
But if you took energy absorption and explosions, you could kind of combine them in that regard.
That'd be Jubilee and Bishop.
Jubiliship.
Jubiliship. I already have a hero name. I see.
I mean, you could also have a signature weapon and be like the Sword of Justice.
That is quite tempting. Character-wise, right by mind control, but personally, I have issues with mind control because it just feels a bit mind rapey.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bad guy power, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, because Professor X has it.
And never uses it because it's a bad guy power.
But he he stops people in place.
He does, yeah.
And that kind of thing. And
that's true.
Yeah, it's all quite questionable. Darkness manipulation is like shadows and stuff.
Creating patches of darkness. Use them as obstructing or precision attacks.
Ooh, so I can actually do things with the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Like make lumps out of it and hit people with
Obstructing attacks do damage. Being precise with it, you can swap the digits you roll on your percentile dice. Darkness is blind.
Like
Justice
that.
is blind.
That works. Yes. Welcome to my world, evildoers.
So you want darkness manipulation?
Yes, I will take darkness manipulation, please.
Splendid.
Probably is a lesser power.
Yeah, not a problem. Melly, that leaves mind control, illusions, explosions, and energy absorption on the table.
Illusions, explosions.
No, I'm going to pick illusions.
Oh, you might.
An excellent choice.
I don't know why that's the illusion.
You can create illusions of places that do not exist except as mirages for those who behold them. When an enemy hits you, you can choose to take no damage, revealing that they actually attacked an illusory duplicate of you.
Yes.
And you can do a power stunt to make that last longer. It's quite a heavy energy drain because it's a 4 charge turn counter, so it's got quite a big cooldown period. but it's quite a useful one for someone who's a bit squishier.
Yeah.
Okay, Alden.
Yeah.
Now you said mind control's out, so we've got energy absorption, explosions, and then energy blast, super strength, super toughness, and signature weapon.
Signature weapon.
Scales of Justice.
Is that going to be your main power then?
Yeah.
Nice.
Scales of Justice.
You have a weapon such as a sword, axe, hammer gun, bow, or shuriken that is a core part of your aesthetic and fighting style. I think this might be a where the power comes from kind of vibe for you.
Scales of Justice.
Scales of Justice. Excellent. And Millie, that leads... sorry, carry on.
Sorry. So I'm kind of envisioning something a bit like a flail.
Yeah.
Because it's the scales with the dishes on it. But you mentioned shuriken, so that made me wonder if maybe I could detach one of the scales and also shaka-ram it at people.
It's kind of an all or nothing sort of thing. It's a signature weapon, not a Swiss Army signature
flail,
weapon.
Then that's fine.
Okie dokie, cool. That's you. Back to Millie then. We've got energy absorption and explosions on the table, as well as energy blast, flight, super strength, super toughness, and another signature weapon.
What are explosions? Like, do I just make things?
It's quite literally that. You can cause inanimate objects to explode. So it's a little bit Jubilee, a little bit Gambit. A little bit that car blows up. So you can make it into an area effect attack. Yeah, you make things explode, controlling the size and force of the explosion.
And what's energy blasts? Is that like...
Energy blast is everything from Cyclops to any other power that you've ever seen zap things with things. You create damaging blasts of energy. Could be kinetic, elemental, energy. Can also be upgraded to an area attack.
Kind of torn between a signature weapon is like a lower. I might bump necromancy up one and have a very low signature weapon, or the explosions.
I suppose with the signature weapon, you've got the sort of spooky knife or the Winchester's Colt kind of thing.
Or Harry Dresden's hockey stick.
Yeah, very good point.
Yeah. So, I do like that in chat. When in doubt, explode something. So yeah, I think I would pick explosions.
Explosions it is.
Yeah.
Splendid news. Right, there we go. So I put those power cards out of the way. And those power cards out of the way. And mind control back in your bin. There's powers. And I will put a rubber band around them. Sorry, my CDO's kicking in. Right, so that's your powers then. Lovely job. Now we need identities and team roles. Now I think with identity, rather than doing a random draw, it kind of makes a bit more sense for you to pick them.
Okay, yeah.
Because you've kind of got a vibe then, and you don't want to end up with completely the wrong thing. So there are some common identities, and there are the exclusive identities for Eldritch Mysteries. So I'll start with them. Stop me if you've heard this one. Archaeologist, alchemist, circus performer, clergy, explorer, fortune teller, historian, librarian, monk, paranormal investigator, recluse, stage magician, thief, vagabond, or warden. So those are the Eldritch Mysteries one. Then the sort of general ones, you've got actor, artist, athlete, celebrity, counsellor, detective, diplomat, doctor, executive, firefighter, government agent, independently wealthy, labourer, lawyer, model, musician, outcast, photographer, police officer, politician, psychologist, reporter, socialite, stunt performer, and white-collar worker.
I like recluse or paranormal investigator. I
thought
like
you
them
might
too.
somehow.
Yeah.
So this determines what skills you get. So a paranormal investigator, you can read the situation, research something, surveil someone, sneak around, watch for trouble, and do anything else. As a recluse, you get sneak around, surveil someone, watch for trouble, intimidate someone, size someone up, and anything else. I think the investigator probably fits better with a two-man team.
Yeah.
Recluse might work better if it was a bigger squad.
Yeah. I think I'll go with private investigator, unless that's what Justice's alternate ego is. No.
No.
Okay.
Quite sure of that.
All right. I've made a private investigator.
Paranormal investigator or a private
paranormal.
investigator. There are both available. LMNO.
No, it's okay. Paranormal makes sense because we're in the spooky.
Private investigator isn't available in this deck. It's in the Streetlight Nights deck, which is
in America.
Taunting us with your North American sauciness.
Adam, what do you fancy?
Something Warden kind of tickled my interest. But I was also thinking something like an archivist. I don't know what that maps across to historian or librarian.
Librarian.
Yeah, librarian. So Warden was watch for trouble, distract someone, read the situation, make a repair, surveil someone, anything else. And librarian was one of these as well. Research something, analyze data, watch for trouble, intimidate someone, use a computer.
So I guess
the librarian is more intimidating than the paranormal investigator.
Librarians are scary, man.
Yeah. I guess the question is whether Justice is a bit like Shazam or Banana Man and has an alter ego.
Just like Banana Man.
Just like Banana Man. Or whether they're always Justice.
Well, what I was thinking.
This is where we play into your origin story a little bit, isn't it?
They would either be the archivist for the Black Library of the Old Bailey, be the warden of said library. So they're close to the seat of justice, and possibly that's how they got transformed into the spirit of eternal justice.
Both of those do work quite
I think
well.
Warden.
Yeah, I think Warden scans a little better.
Intimidate, though. Yeah, I think Warden scans better.
So there we go, a Warden and a paranormal investigator. So that governs the skills that your characters have. So paranormal investigator, read the situation 90%, research something 80%. Sorry.
Where does this go?
This is not
see, the way the character sheets are designed, you've got your character sheet there, and then your team role, your identity, just plugs on there.
Oh, okay.
So if you've got the little tray in the character sheet, it would just sit there and you'd have it all. And then your powers would sit down here.
Yeah, nice.
But that bit's not editable and
yeah, that bit's not so editable.
No. All right. So stick it. We'll type it in Discord later.
Yeah, we'll type the faffy bits in later. So that goes there. That goes there. Right, we are. team role is our next thing. What is your function in the team?
Oh, clearly I'm in charge.
Artillery, booster, controller, leader, support, tactician, tank, and striker are the options we have available. Now, each part of the team role gives you an additional power that you can use. So, for example, the artillery does their best work from afar. When you hit with a ranged attack, you can spend any number of hero points, each of which adds 20 to the damage dealt.
Right.
Or reduces a minion squad by 2.
So would explosions be a ranged attack?
If you want it to be.
Because that sounds like a good thing to, especially as it's like, I was uncertain. It could be like my main power, or it could be my lesser power if I put illusions as my main power.
I mean, support's also handy there. On your turn, you can spend any number of hero points. For each hero point you spend, one ally you choose that can see or hear you regains 30 resistance.
Right, okay.
So you've got buffing powers. So it kind of depends on what you want to do. These kind of need a bit of a read, I guess.
Yeah,
So
and can't they change between issues?
They can
as well?
change between issues, yes, that's very true.
Cool.
So for the booster, you can let someone re-roll, for instance.
Nice.
The controller adds challenge dice to the enemy. The leader can move people's initiative track around
Cool.
to move your people up or their people down. Support has ranged healing. The tactician can reduce the amount of cooldown time on your powers. The tank can reduce the damage that other people take
Tank.
by getting in the way.
I call tank.
Yeah, that's a shot.
Tank.
Well, I'm invulnerable. So,
And then there's the
just
striker,
tank.
who's an up close and personal, adds damage if you're fighting at close range.
That's tempting too.
So you're probably likely to end up switching between those two roles predominantly, Alden. So a tank to start off with isn't a bad idea with your near invulnerability. And then if you get someone who's tankier with like super toughness, join you later, and an armor power or something like that, then you could swap out for striker and go hand to hand with your Philale mace.
Scales of justice.
That too.
Your sins weigh heavy, my friend.
Oh, Beowulf, you've spotted it. Millie took necromancy and explosion. Does that mean she can make exploding zombies? Yes, it does. Almost invulnerable is definitely a second-rate power.
Yeah, almost.
I'm mostly invulnerable. Ow.
Yeah.
So, Millie, do you have a preference for what sort of team role you want to go for?
I was gonna think probably the artillerist, like the ranged
Yep.
bonus kind of thing. Because if justice is gonna be up in their grill,
Yep.
that means I can be far away, looking like I'm sat on a park bench drinking coffee, but really blowing shit up.
Yeah. So that's an artillery initiative card and a tank initiative card that I need out. Minions and hazards and events and all kinds of shenanigans going on here. Complications. Initiative works on a little card deck.
Nice.
Okay.
And different things happen at different points. You shuffle them each turn, lay them out, and then go, okay, so first up it's the tank. Next up it's the villain.
Boo.
And there's a lovely little deck as well called Complications.
No, none of that, thanks.
Oh, but they've got brilliant names, some of them. So this complication card is, you didn't think I'd come alone, did you? And you can just suddenly add new bad guys to the scene. They've got fantastic... Get them, my minions! Reinforcements. That building is coming down! They've all got, like, proper superhero shouty things.
No!
That thing's gonna
Not
explode!
the orphanage!
Loads of brilliant little...
Well, yes. It'll be my
So
team.
that is kind of your characters sorted. So now we need to think about your origin stories, because obviously that's one of the most important parts of superhero stuff.
I don't know.
You investigate something you shouldn't have, and you were pulled into a shadowy world.
Oh, that's interesting. Because Alden chose flight and signature weapon, it adds 2 hero points to your pool.
Go me.
Because you took basic powers.
Oh, that's a good... I guess that's a good trade-up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Good balancing game. I don't know. I don't know whether we go down the I just got involved in something and it all went horribly weird. Or I had a really wonderful and lovely time and I'm just really interested in this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I do this on purpose. What do you mean you raise the dead and have a chat with great Auntie Agnes for fun? Yeah, totally.
Yeah, enjoy
It's
it.
fine, isn't it? Yeah.
No problem with that.
Wouldn't you if you could? I could teach you if you want. That kind of thing. So yeah, or we do the whole sort of deep and dark and terrifying thing. Moodiness. But,
Trying to get it back.
Yeah. No, I like I am just a bit weird and I like it.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, have I failed to work out hero points? So, it looks like I have. How do we get hero points?
Yeah.
By being heroic.
By being heroic. By doing heroic things, you earn hero points. Alden, you start with 2. You aren't just a person. Hero points are a resource. On your archetype sheet, you have a box that tells you the minimum number you have for each conflict scene. Except you don't.
Yes, currently it says 0.
Yeah. At the start, if you have fewer than that number, you gain hero points till you reach your minimum. If you have more than your minimum, you don't gain any extras. So Alden, your minimum is at least 2. You earn more hero points by dealing with complications if you take time to protect innocent citizens, put out fires, and do things other than punching or shooting the villain. You're being heroic, putting the needs of the people over your own satisfaction. At any time you successfully progress a complication or an objective, you gain 1 hero point.
Raw.
So there you go. To gain the hero points that you can then spend to do stuff. Remember, your powers don't require hero points.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use your powers without hero points. Everybody starts off with a resistance. Okay. That's the amount of hit points you've got. At the end of each scene, you recover any that you've lost, because this is 4-color comic book superheroicness.
Yeah.
There are only 3 distances to worry about. Up close, which is like hand to hand, near, close to you, and far, ranged. Then we've got advantage dice and challenge die. Now those are the ones that have got funky little bits, but if you haven't got these, you can use regular D8s and regular D10s.
Cool.
And we've got a little cheat sheet that Matt made that's got that on it. At the start of any conflict, you put time tokens on your powers which indicate it. Each round you remove a token, and once it's all gone, you can use the power. So, for example, Millie, like I said, your illusions power was a big one. It's 4 time tokens to use. So 4 rounds in. Haha, you didn't really hit me. It was an illusion.
Yes. Cool. Yeah, I think I've got it.
It's pretty straightforward stuff. You can use power stunts to increase the size and the area and hinder your enemies and things like that. And you can also use your powers narratively.
Okay.
Don't fight the bad guys. Let them trash everything and just fly around saving people in their wake. Farm all the hero points. That's some MMO logic right there.
It's like, hang on. Millie's character can make things go on fire. And then I can put out the fires.
Oh yeah, I could raise. We could do. I raise some dead, and then you can kill them. I can explode a car, and then you can put out the fire.
I think that might make you the bad guys.
Save the people who can demonstrate their complete innocence.
Yes, you've just become the bad guys.
All right, let's go and
take over the city.
Folk in North America now. Let's go and Sin City. I can't remember what that city is called.
Farm some XP.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think anybody wants to go toe to toe with Grendel, do they?
No, actually, no.
Oh, no.
Right, let's think about your origin stories then.
Yeah.
Because then we're pretty much there.
What's your character's name, Millie?
I don't know. I haven't thought one. We were chatting about this on Discord. Where were we? Let me see. What were my options? What were my suggestions?
Many, didn't you?
Yeah.
You were a moth. I wanted to be a moth, and now I have a moth.
Brought it on yourself.
All right. I think we'll go with Victoria Valentine because that sounds both comic book-ish and then also a bit odd because it's got V in it. It's got 2 V's in it.
2 V's. And comic books do love their alliterative names, don't they?
Oh, you got to alliterate, yes.
And then it also has that ring about it, doesn't it? Victoria Valentine, paranormal investigator. Yeah.
All right, so tell us a bit about Victoria Valentine, the paranormal investigator. Because she's not a superhero. She's an I learned magic, I came up the hard way superhero.
Yeah, I think Victoria doesn't think she's superpowered or that she's a superhero or anything like that. She's just very much like, well, everybody else is a little bit too stupid to realize that they too could do it. And that's why she's cynical, right? Because everybody has the potential to do what she could do, but they don't. So she's just very like, you're so stupid. Why are you this stupid? Why are you not? Look, come here, read this book, which is probably not good for everybody.
Yeah. You may have destroyed a few minds in your time.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And so she's a paranormal investigator because everybody else is too stupid to do the job properly. Is how she's probably not made a lot of friends along the way, but she has saved a lot of who she would consider stupid people from what she would consider very obvious deaths or ethereal eldritch beings, whereas everybody else is like, I didn't realize that my granny was eating mind slugs. And we're like, well, it's obvious they're mind slugs. Look, what are you doing? Come on, kind of thing. She probably has some friends who are the Fae, because there's a part of the town that's got the Fae in it, haven't they? And they're all sort of the underclass,
shunned, reviled, hated.
Yeah, so she probably has a few friends of them because she uses the illusions and that kind of stuff, and her abilities are very magic based, so there might be an element of, look, have you got any more of that moss that was in the moon 4 nights ago? I need the moon, that kind of thing. You're the only place in the city that is westerly facing on that ley line that also has low enough buildings around it to get the moonlight on it. So she's got weird friends all over town, and she's vulgar mostly out of like, why are you so fucking, that kind of thing, like
frustration, vulgar.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Bloody hell, this is so simple. You just need to align these 4 crystals in a Widdershins manner on a Thursday. It's obvious, kind of thing, and that kind of stuff. She probably does know all the Wiccans in town, Veronica. But she
somehow always knows where the Dimensional Anchor free house is.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Despite the fact that it's in a different place every day.
Yeah, and yeah, so her what is it called? Resistance is through like, I would have been killed, except I remembered to pack this 4-leaf clover from Lourdes that was picked by the last person who was cured by the water. Look, it's all wilted now and just pockets full of crap.
Really weird shit in your pockets.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. That kind of thing.
It ties in quite nicely with the idea that supers in Dunchester aren't that common.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're not that common because there are actually loads more of them. People don't consider them to be superheroes if they're not wearing spangly outfits.
Yeah, it's not very
because
British
you walk around the streets with a dirty long coat on, calling people idiots and pulling moss out of your pocket. You're clearly not a superhero.
And knitting, one of those old carpet bags. Do you know what I mean? Like the Mary Poppins style crap. And of course Mary Poppins could do that stuff. I could do it's a documentary, clearly. Why would it not be that kind of stuff?
And sometimes when people piss you off enough, things explode.
Yeah. But if they paid attention and did things properly, they would too be able to make things explode. It's not a special power.
So what's your top power?
Blowing shit up. I think in terms of like mechanics, that's probably going to be quite important.
So you're like a teen prodigy, poltergeist, telekinesis, troubled youth, things used to explode a lot, and then you learned how to control it through magic.
Yes. Because obviously, like, you need to learn to walk. I just learned to not blow things up.
Except when you want to.
Except when I want to. Like if I need to walk from here to there. Yeah. Naturally. And then illusions, and then necromancy. Those are my list.
Okay, chat have lost their marbles and are now talking about Alden's nipples.
Not on Twitch. Not on Twitch. The nipples of justice.
Genuinely never happened before.
Gosh, my kids are stumpy. Be right back.
Okay, Alden, tell us a little bit then about Scales of Justice Man.
Eternal justice, thank you.
Yes, gosh. What do we want to know about Eternal Justice?
Well, you said he started off as a warden.
So we're in Dunchester. Yeah?
Yes, which is definitely not London.
Definitely not London. So when the Halls of Justice, as he likes to call them, but that's probably not what everyone else calls them.
The main government building is Dunchester Abbey. It used to be an abbey back in medieval times, but has been expanded and turned into like the central civil service.
Okay. Is that where the courts are?
It could be there, or it could be in Rookham Palace, although that's more likely to be a little bit more upmarket.
I like Dunchester Abbey. If we can put the courts there, then the courts were first implemented, and the abbey was taken over and secularized in the 1500s after the dissolution of the monasteries. History fans, and the warden has always been there.
So you've inherited the power. You are
No,
just the latest in the line, or you've always been the warden?
I've always been there. The warden has always been there, and he's just so mild and unprepossessing that no one really notices. He's like the janitor. But he holds all the keys and knows where everything is in the undercroft of the abbey, and seemingly is always there, but no one ever really questions. Just kind of glosses over.
So potentially centuries old.
Yes.
Forgotten more things than he remembers.
Yeah, what? Yes, what? The call of justice needs no memory.
Because you get a fresh start once you've paid for your crimes, yeah? That's why you have no memory.
Yeah, redemptive justice. Yes, I'm coming round to the idea.
Slowly. I like that, like, oh, him? No, he's been here since I was started. Yeah, don't worry about him. But for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. The monks moved out, he was still there. Other people moved in, he's still there.
So
Helps
maybe
move
once
boxes.
upon a time he might even have been a monk and then dedicated himself to a higher cause.
Well, upholding the holy justice.
Yeah. Okay, splendid. So it looks like we've got our heroes. I love that Millie is definitely not going to have a superhero identity under any circumstances. Full on Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Do not put me in spandex and call me a silly name.
No.
So what do you wear then, Alden? Do you just look like a security guard who fights crime with a sword? Flail,
Scales
sorry.
of justice. Flail. Scale flail. I'm gonna go alter ego, I think, on this one. So there is the warden, who wears quite dark tweed.
Elbow patches.
Leather elbow patches, 3-piece, probably a pocket watch because he's coming round to the concept of time.
So sort of Giles
yes.
from Buffy meets the Doctor from the Thor comics who used to turn into Thor.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Blake. Yes. Yeah, we can turn.
Drives a green Volvo.
No, not totally happy with these horseless carriage things. I'd rather walk or fly. And then transformation that probably were kind of not a Wonder Woman-y because that's too sparkly, but a kind of whirling dervish of darkness, and then emerges past spandex.
Is it spandex?
Scales on my chest.
Or do you think it's more likely to be like a suit of armour kind of vibe? I get more of a sort of
armor's a bit
medieval knight stylized thing, so less spandex and more faceless
we could
visored.
go Templar, so we could go the chain dress almost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With the tabard, with the scales on the tabard, and then the flail scale in the hands.
Does he have cool music when he transforms? Of course he has cool music when he transforms.
Yeah.
Yes.
How could you not? I just clash my arm braces together and no wait.
And the scales, when you're not in your transformed state, do they exist outside of space-time and you just call them into your hand when you're ready, or?
It's his pocket watch.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's the pocket watch.
It sits on a chain and you can
Yeah.
weigh it.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice. We do like our magical girl transformations. Even when they're happening to middle-aged librarian men.
A little bit beyond middle-aged.
Well, he's from the Middle
Those
Ages.
Middle Ages. Yes. There we go.
Which leads us to the next and probably most difficult question then. How have the two of you both ended up as Guardians of the Rift? Or were you there back at the beginning, Aldoon?
Well, I was naturally chosen by a higher power to defend the rift against all evildoers. And over the years, I have had many companions, probably. I think. Seems likely.
I've got some woodcuts.
Woodcuts of him with his arm around someone like this. Somebody terrified. Chat is suggesting we went on a date, but I don't think Victoria's got time for dates.
Not when everybody's this stupid.
No. I do like to channel my my love of Pratchett, and I'm wondering if like one of the dead people I speak to is like it's the nice and accurate prophecies of Kevin.
Oh, fantastic.
That kind of thing. And he said, look, if you don't go and join this, it's all going to go horribly wrong. You can't just leave the boys to get this done, kind of thing. And you're like, oh, but there's a lovely library down the road. There's so much I could and you just have to give me. No, you need to go and stop because the library will get destroyed if you don't. Oh, for fuck's sake,
right.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Fine, I'll go and supervise the idiots.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Right, I'll go and help.
Yeah. Fine, I will join this. Oh, what's this? This is a bit ostentatious, isn't it? What is this?
What?
Yeah, that kind of thing. Oh.
Oh, the mark of justice. Yes.
Yeah, doesn't go with any of my.
It's alright, nobody can see it except other people who are Guardians.
I suppose, yeah. Not seeable by stupid people. Got it.
Yep.
Got it.
I can see it.
Well, I suppose you're not so stupid. Or
Excellent.
not seeable by ignorant people. There we go. And you're just stupid.
No, Beowulf,
Sure.
he does not speak in rhyming couplets because we're not having an etrigan.
We discussed this on the Discord. There's a number of things I will not be doing. Rhyming couplets is one of them.
So, as Guardians of the Rift, you have access to a place of power, the Temple of Mithras Themesis, which is a secret sanctuary. It's somewhere in London, not London, Dunchester.
Dunchester.
Somewhere. Even you're not entirely sure where it is, because the thing about it is, you can access it from any underground station. And you're also aware that the whole of the underground network itself is a giant sigil drawn around the rift. So part and parcel of controlling the rift is the underground, which is probably why you can access your secret sanctuary from therein.
Mm-hmm.
It's an ancient temple, and there are two little sparks of elemental energy that keep it alive. One red and fiery, one blue and watery. All that's left of the gods Mithras and Themesis. Or are they? Yeah, you've got a chunk of round table in there.
Ooh.
Not the whole
I still
thing.
want to know which bit. I remember this. There used to be more of it.
Where's it gone?
We had such laughs.
Ah, great days.
What?
Okay, anybody got any questions? Anything you want to add? Throw into the mix.
Not yet.
Okie dokie, well we can crack on with issue 1 then if you want.
Maybe.
You know, ancient temple of Mithras Themesis. Are there kind of relics of previous years? Has this always been the base of the defenders against the rift?
Well, see, you've thrown me a curveball by being immortal.
That model's really old.
It may be that this is just the current base, and they have had other bases through time, and this is where they've retreated to. The last sanctuary against the darkness.
Or maybe this one came about with the construction of the underground sigil.
Yes, also possibly true.
Maybe then discovered and co-opted for the use by the defenders. That would make sense.
Yep, that works.
Okay. I was just wondering if it had sort of, the standard, I don't know what that is, but it's in the glass case. Melted skull, giant dinosaur head kind of thing.
Probably nothing yet. I imagine you're fairly new to using this base, and maybe if you explore it, discover bits, develop it, you may find new and exciting areas to unlock. Okie dokie. So, stories in Spectaculars are called issues. Like issues of a comic book. So each little section is considered an issue. There are about 12 issues in a story arc. We're going to start the first one today. We may then go on to finish it next week, depending on how we're doing for time. Because we've been at it for an hour, and it's getting mighty warm in me cupboard.
It is, isn't it? Yes. Could we have a short break?
That sounds like a sterling idea. So stay tuned, good folk of chat. We will be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know whether folks could hear, but we might not. Unfortunately, OBS is the actual villain of this campaign.
Dun, dun, dun.
And has foiled our production this evening by not complying with our whims. So we might call it a night here, and then head over to Discord and chat about things anybody wants to. Come and join us on the Discord, and then next week we will begin issue 1 of Spectaculars in Dunchester with Justice, the Warden, and Victoria Valentine, PI. No, dear, it's a paranormal investigator, obviously. Moron.
Very rude.
Yes, of course. But in the meantime, what have we got on this week? So tomorrow we're going to be playing some Coriolis. Trojan Armadillo into Bay Basin. And then Wednesday, tomorrow, double tomorrow, Spectaculars North America edition, The Meat Man, Nightlife, Grendel, Swift Fox, I think. Have I missed any of the other heroes? Alley Cat. All in their Sin City edition of I think it's like Big Eden or Dark Eden or something. I'm sure that's going to be all fine. Be fine. After that, on Wednesday, we've got Jim with Oitawatawa, Tales of the Old World. They got into a bit of bother last week with some. Well, nothing. There's no Ratmen or Skaven or anything involved. And Thursday, tune in for Alien TPK, as I send everybody down a mine and try my best not to murder the party, but they might do it themselves. Might be something they do all by themselves. And then on Friday, we'll be back with 2 more folk for Dune and House Stargoose shenanigans. And that'd be a week of Garblag, bringing us back to issue 1 of Spectaculars. There we go. What a week. Wow. If you've missed anything we've had on the channel last week, you need to catch up. Don't forget, we upload things to YouTube, and you can watch till your heart's delight on there. If you do head over to YouTube to have a look, give us a subscribe, and on the videos that you watch, just give it a like, maybe drop a comment, and say hi. And if you are watching us on the YouTubes, we stream all those things I just mentioned live from around 8 p.m., 9 p.m. BST, and 5 days a week. It'd be lovely if you could come and drop in and say hello. We have a lovely chat while we're streaming, and you can collect some groats and join in the shenanigans. But yeah, in the meantime, come and say hello on the Discord, and we'll be back in some form or another tomorrow. Was that an all right outro? Did we do okay? I'm just going to wave until we're allowed to go.